Honestly, just rocking with a cold brew, splash of 2% milk. I'm on my way. That's kind of my go-to if I'm like driving to work. They have a pumpkin spice iced latte right here for me. It's very good. Probably my new go-to for a little while. First sip feeling. That right there, just a nice, it's like getting you going in the morning. We're in the car, we're on the way to work, and the day's getting started. I was with the Miami Dolphins at the time, and we were up by 3 touchdowns going into the fourth quarter, and they came back to tie it up. So we had to go to overtime. We ended it with a game-winning field goal. And when I went out on the field, I was like, I hope I don't mess this snap up because I have to propose later, and that would be a really mixed emotions on that night. So we made the kick, we won, and went to the restaurant, and I proposed in front of our friends and family. It's really, really good. She makes this like casserole thing. It has like butternut squash in it, chicken, and broccoli, I think. It does not sound good, but like when you eat it, it's insanely good. I love it. Pretty good at cooking a steak now, reverse searing it. Actually, I make these wings that I smoke for like 2.5 hours. And I have this like special sauce and seasoning that I use. They're actually some of the best wings that I've ever had, and my neighbors all love it too. Whenever I make those wings, I always text them. I go to a couple of some comedy shows here in town, and so I always try to DM them to see if I can get some pictures with them after the show. So random comedians. I think the last one was Nick Swardson. It feels lame to say some of my teammates, but they're actually pretty darn famous. Probably being in one of my wife's TikToks. They've gone much further than any of the ones that I've created. She has like 2 that have over 1 million views. That was probably my most viral moment, was LeBron James putting our TikTok on his story. That was all time. I have a screenshot of that. Yeah, I read the comments. I have a pretty good wall up protecting myself from some of the mean stuff that people say, but I have a pretty good muscle when it comes to taking it with a grain of salt. It was Trent Williams, but currently he has the locker beside him open, so it's moved into 2 lockers. Probably Jake Moody right now. He's just a kid. I love Jake, but I'm not having him watch my kid for another couple years. You know what? Probably Nick Bosa. He's a very chill guy. He's not going to be bouncing off the walls with the kid. He's not going to be getting into trouble. I think he'd have her corralled pretty well. I used to have to wear these compression shorts the night before the game up until game time. And then another one that I have is I have to, there's like a cutoff of when I can clip my nails before a game. So if we play on Sunday, the last day that I can clip them is Friday, because if I clip them on Saturday, they're going to be too short to play with. I really liked London quite a bit. I thought I was going to like Paris more, but I ended up liking London and the history and the architecture and stuff. Japan, easy. I could probably spend a month there, just the various shows that I've seen, like Anthony Bourdain type stuff. Because I want to go to a few of the big cities, but I'd love to go like to some of the mountain like onsens, like the spas there, various like parks and mountains and forests and whatnot. I want to go all over. Sushi, pretty easy.
Have you ever like tried making sushi yourself?
Yeah, we did it during quarantine. So it was a perfect time to do it. I got a nice little rice cooker, some rice wine vinegar. It was actually really, it turned out way better than I thought it was going to. I did like the avocado, I like did the shrimp on the skewers. It turned out really well. My dream car is a 1999 Nissan Skyline GTR, and those were manufactured in Japan, so the steering column's on the right side. So I need to learn how to shift with my left hand in a manual. So that's probably the next skill that I'm gonna learn.
Have you gotten anywhere with
so
research?
I've probably, I mean, Twitter's amazing. I've probably gotten in contact with half, like whatever population of Skylines are in the Bay Area, I've probably gotten in contact with at least half of them. And so I have a couple people lined up, and then I've gotten in contact with people who can import them for me. But that's probably gonna be like a post-football retirement gift to myself. So probably not buying one anytime soon, but it's gonna be cool to ride one of those cars because I've liked that car for a long time. Probably another Pokemon card, but there's a funny story about it. Is my grandma worked for the Army Corps of Engineers, and so she flew to Japan once when I was a kid, and she got me a pack of Japanese Pokemon cards, and there was like a pretty rare one. Long story short, I played one of my neighbor kids and we would play for keeps. So I gave him that card, and my grandma passed away 2 years ago. And I told that story at her funeral, and my mom actually contacted, I don't know how she did it, contacted the mom of that family, and her son still had that card. And so he sent me that card. So I have the card that I lost that she got in Japan. So that's probably one of my prized possessions. Probably an Arcanine. It's a big dog. I like that one. I like Gengar. It's like a big ghost Pokemon. He's pretty cool. I like all the early ones from when I was a kid. I don't really like any of the new ones that much. Big Bachelor guy. Chris Harrison is a good friend of my agent's, so she actually sent us a video of Chris wishing my wife and I a happy engagement and marriage and everything. Probably like concert tickets from a radio station or something. Yeah, I could never go to it. I won it literally like 3 years in a row, but I was in middle school. They were Tech 9 tickets, and I didn't even listen to Tech 9, but I just wanted to call into a radio station and win them. And I would win them almost every year, and my parents would never let me go. Man, when I turned 22, you can bet I was screaming that song all night. I remember my friend Andrew and I were both like pretty tall guys. He played tight end at Michigan State because we were just like going crazy together. Right now, it's probably Nose on the Grindstone by Tyler Childers, which like I'm not a big country guy, but in my heart, I feel like I can belt that out pretty well.
Do you know that like word for word now?
Not word for word, but like when I hear it, I can kind of get into it. Right now, it's probably Montclair Machete by Riff Raff.
Hey, next.
Yeah. I'm not embarrassed by any music. A lot of the linebackers give me crap when I play my like middle school screamo music when in the weight room, but I'm not embarrassed. Moppy hair. I wasn't confident enough then to rock the skinny jeans, but definitely band t-shirts from, Hot Topic and stuff like that. But I didn't wear like the black clothes. I wore like very bright, vibrant kind of scene kid clothes.
No eyeliner?
No eyeliner, no. I couldn't rock that. I could still rock a nose piercing, I think. I think I got my wife's blessing. If I really wanted my septum pierced, I think I could do that. I have 0 tattoos. I think that surprises a lot of people, but I know how like impulsive I am. So if I get one, I'm probably gonna be like a canvas after that. If it really started thinning, I probably would. Knock on wood. My family has pretty good hair genes. I've heard way too many and none of them are good. Dr. Pepper, Salt and Pepper. Are you gonna name your daughter Salton? Are you gonna be a doctor? It wasn't even a pun, but I think the funniest thing was like in my 4th grade class, there were like 3 kids with like food last names. There was Jacob Pancake, myself, and then I can't even remember the 3rd one, but that was probably the funniest. It was like we had like a full meal worth of names in our 4th grade class. Oh, no. That was perfect, especially when that thing was shading me before it. Yeah, no, that was perfect.